Hey guys, Brent Abernathy. Welcome to the Family First Life Gulf Coast New Agent Training Call on Thursday. Hope everybody's having a great start to their dial day. I am super excited about today's training call. I have been looking forward to the day where I could get this young lady on and share some of the stuff that's been going on and how she's gotten started with us. And her name is Summer Broussard. She's 21 years old. She is in college in just outside of Houston, Texas. And I'm going to tell a quick story, Summer, about you before I kind of turn it over to you. So when new agents get started, like what I do is I follow things on the Discord channel, you know, that you guys are in, the group chat or the Slack group that we have in our group. And sometimes people's names pop up that I've never seen before. And I'm like, I'll never forget, you know, your first dial day. I see this Summer pop up and like 15 or 16 appointments or something. And I just kind of watch and I see what happens. And then you go out and you crush it the next day or two in the field. And then I see your name pop up again on dial day. And it's like, you know, good appointment setting. And then you crush it again. And I'll never forget calling Evan. I'm like, who the heck is this girl? You know, where's she come from? You know, and so I knew early on that because of the activity that you were putting in, I knew that you were going to be successful. And I hadn't talked to you. This is the first time me and you have even talked. And so I've been excited to have you on. Real quick, just a brief background of who you are, you know, and how you came about, you know, getting started with Family First. And then I want to dig into some things with you.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Summer, I'm 21 years old from Houston, Texas. I am a full-time college student on top of this full-time. I also have like a couple of side jobs that I do in the morning and then on like Thursday afternoons and things like that. But yeah, what got me started was I was watching a podcast with Bradley. He's like my favorite entrepreneur. I'm really into like the real estate side of things. So I never even knew anything about insurance at all. But I was watching his podcast with Sean Mike and immediately thought, oh my gosh, this is something that I could do. This is something that would be for me, you know, being my own boss. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Going out in the field, you know, getting to interact with people. I have ADHD, don't like sitting at a desk. So yeah, immediately when I was listening to that, I knew this was going to be for me. But in my mind, I didn't know about the real insurance side of things, like I said. So I was like, am I even able to do this? So immediately I did research and was drawn to the company, started, you know, watching different podcasts with Andrew Taylor, Sean Mike, different things like that. And immediately was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this. Reached out to Evan, saw him on the FFL page and he looked, you know, young, my age. So I wanted to be on a team that I could surround myself with people my age and grow, you know, be successful in life. So immediately I did that and here I am.
So, and you're in a great spot. It's funny you say that because you are in a great spot being part of the group that you are a part of, you know, with Evan and Kiefer and Gabe. And I mean, just a lot of younger people that are crushing it, helping 40, 50, 60 families a month. And you're well on your way to doing that as well. But you said I wasn't even sure about the insurance thing and if I could even do it. And, you know, it's like you didn't have any knowledge of what we do. Talk a little bit about that because a lot of new agents, Summer, they come on board, they get licensed, they come on board and they get paralysis by analysis because they think, and I was this way a little bit when I first started a long time ago. You think that I have to know everything about everything to be able to go out and help families and make sales, right? So what got you to the point where you were just like, hey, I'm just hitting the gas and I'm just going and I'll kind of figure out, I'll learn as I go, that type of thing, instead of sitting back thinking like you had to know everything.
Right. Well, so I started out I did an internship last year in corporate and I literally hated everything about it. You know, getting someone to control your life, telling you what to wear every day, things like that. So I knew I immediately wanted to be in a business like this. I did an internship with a like sales company for a couple of months, like when I was like 18 years old. and immediately crushed it there too. So I knew that this business was for me. But yeah, I didn't know anything about insurance. And if you think you can interact with people, you're a hustler, you have all those traits of a salesperson, this business is definitely for you. And it really just takes, dedication, hard work, getting up in the morning. You do have control over your life and what you're going to do in this business. So if you're going to be lazy, you're not going to get the results that you probably want. But yeah, I knew that from the beginning. So I think to anyone that's like listening to this that is new, if you have, work ethic, like I said, and drive, and you're willing to, go out and put in the work, interact with people, have a good attitude, going out in the field, then this is definitely for you.
Yeah. It all goes hand in hand, right? It's like you can't have the work ethic and have a crappy attitude, and you can't have a great attitude but not have the work ethic, right? And I think it's also important. All you really have to understand about our business to go out and help families, yes, you do have to genuinely care about helping people, number one. But you also have to understand what are our income producing activities, right? It's like sitting around and learning about product or whatever. That's not an income producing activity. What's an income producing activity is getting leads, getting on the phone, and getting in front of people. Those are the only three things that help generate income and sales, right? And so it's just like, let's go. We can steer a car when it's in drive. We can't steer a car when it's in park, right? And you just went out and started working. Now, this is one big thing I want to hit on with you. You're pretty much not pretty much, you're just working internet leads, right?
Yes.
Okay. And a lot of new agents, when they first start, they struggle, right, with internet leads. They whether it's the mindset, whether it's the expectations, whether it's they aren't good on the phone yet, which is okay, right? That first day, let me take you back to that first day when you booked, and I think it was 15 or 16 appointments. I don't know. But what was your first dial day like for you?
Yeah. So that night I actually did a Zoom call with Gabe. So that's number one that I would recommend, new agents. And I've had a few reach out to me on the phone and things like that. So if you are new and you need someone, you maybe don't know where to start, what to buy, reach out to me and I'll leave my number, at the end of this. But I think that night I had bought final expense leads, and I knew from the beginning that I was going to go all in. And I remember Evan asked me, like, how much do you want to put down? I was like, I mean, what's like normal? And he's like, I think 1,000's good. I was like, okay, let's put down 2,000. I'll put 1,000 down Tuesday, 1,000 down Thursday. I don't care. I'm going all in. And he was like, okay. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And I knew that if you're willing to put in the work, you're going to get the results you want. I woke up on dial day at 6 a.m. and I knew that I was going to be on the phone by 8 a.m. Like I just knew I was going to do whatever it took to get the results I wanted from the very beginning. And not even to like prove my name or anything like that, just because I knew that if I was going to do something like this and investing money into myself, that I was going to go all in. So dial day one, got up, had my leads already ready. That's number one. Definitely buy your leads the day before, because the CRM the morning of is like kind of slow. So people are on there.
Right.
So yeah, have everything, lined out and immediately just start dialing. You're going to have people decline your call. You're going to have non-working numbers. You're going to have rude people, nice people, everything in between. But if you just keep pushing, I had a hard time with that too, because I remember the first hour, I had people giving me attitude and everything else, of course. But I remember I like called Gabe or Evan, I don't even know, and was probably telling them how, oh my gosh, so-and-so so rude. He's like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Keep going. So I think I was on the phone till maybe 7:00 at night, my first dial day. Okay. And then, the day after I got a sale. So it works.
Right. Exactly. And so you did have that period early on where it was like, oh my God, I'm getting the crud kicked out of me, whatever. And you called somebody and they were like, hey, it's okay. It's going to happen. That's the expectations. That's why you have so many leads to call type of deal. Right. And then you just got back on the phone and were able to, because a lot of new agents can't control summer. Like they they book an appointment and they're like way up here, right? Or they get hung up on and they're like way down here. And it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like they can't control their mindset and their attitude and stay right here, living right here, unemotionally in between, right? So you were able to do that pretty quickly, it sounds like, huh?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because I've never even thought to touch base on that, but that's so true. Like when you get a sale, you're so excited, like, oh my God, I got my first appointment. But then, you might have 10 after that, 20 after that, non-answer, non-connected, rude people. So you have to just keep that steady mind and just know that you're going to keep booking people and then just do whatever it takes to get to that 15. I mean, even at the end of the night, if you don't get 15, you get 13, 14, whatever the circumstances, you're still going to be fine. And it's still, good that you did that. So,
right. But you didn't shut it off. You dialed from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. Right. And now, and I want to roll back real quick. I don't want to forget to roll back, but I want to touch on this now. So your first dial day was from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you were to sit down on a dial day now and start at 8 a.m., roughly when are you done booking your 15 appointments? Are you still dialing until 7 or 8 o'clock at night or
Well, see, that has to do with procrastination. Like I said, I have ADHD. So sometimes, I wake up and I cannot sit at this desk all day. But yeah, if I get up, hit the phones, I should be done by 2, 3. Now,
because your skill set's gotten better, right? In only 5 weeks, your skills, and that's what we talk to new agents about. It's like I had a new agent, for instance, earlier this week. I was dialing for a new agent here in the Fort Walton office, and it was internet leads. And I dialed from 8 until like 9 o'clock. So I dialed for an hour, and I talked to 5 people, and I booked 4 of them. And in an hour, and the new agent says, I can't stand the fact of how good you are at it. And I'm like, well, I've been doing it for 12 years. I should be good. You know what I mean? Right. My skill set, like I can do it in my sleep now. and it gets that way, but it's not going to be that way from day one. It's something new for a new agent. It's like, that doesn't mean we have to like the fact that we're going through some struggles or we're learning or whatever. The idea is make so many dials, talk to so many people, get in front of so many people early on that it speeds that process up. See, now you're 5 weeks in, 6 weeks in, and now your skill set's already gotten so much better. Whereas some new agents, they might get frustrated, and they might start dialing at 8 and they get frustrated and they cut it off at 11 or 12. And they're like, oh man, it's just a bad dial day. Nobody's answering the phone. And then now it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 months for their skill set to ever get good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. That's how it is. Like I was never taught to be a quitter. I like to use this. So it's like when you make a cake, like if you don't put the egg, if you don't put the water, the cake's not coming out right. So if you're not willing to, put in the money for the leads, that's number one, and you're not going to get the results you want with the appointments, and you're not going to get the sales you want off the appointments because you don't have enough appointments booked, and you're out there just door knocking, then you're mad because people are answering the door when you're door knocking. So it's just all adds up to one big piece. And, if you're not willing to put in the egg at the beginning, your cake's not coming out right. It's the same thing as the situation, So right. I knew that I was willing to put in the work to get the results that I wanted.
Let's touch on that real quick before we get back to the internet leads. I know you mentioned to me before we started this call something about because you said, hey, I knew I had to go all in, and you're a full-time college student. You've got a couple side jobs that you do, and you even said even when you're out in the field or something, you'll be logging into your classes or Zoom class. Is that explain that? Go over that real quick, because this is what sometimes this is what it takes. You got to do whatever it takes to have success, right? And what talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, on Tuesdays and Thursdays I have 2 classes from 10 to 11:30, and then from 1 to 2:30. So I'll be in the field. I have an appointment usually at like 10 because I don't want to start at 11:30. That's way too late. So I'll go out and sometimes I'm like on my iPad on the Zoom call while I'm like doing a sale, which I probably shouldn't be doing. And one time I called Gabe and I said, hey, I'm on, like he tried to call me. I was like, I can't answer. I'm on Zoom and he's like, you're on Zoom, but you're in an in-home. What's going on? Like, I'm just on the Zoom, like in the background, but I'm getting this sale because this is more important.
So you're logging into your classes sometimes. To be present so they see that you're there, but yet you're working, and I think it's awesome. I mean, that's, like I said, sometimes you got to do whatever you got to do. And all right, back to the internet leads. Okay. Give some of the new agents that are on here some tips that you've learned as far as on the phone. We've already talked about mindset. We've already talked about staying even keel and, that you are going to have some disconnected numbers, this, that, and the other. But what have you learned that works? Obviously, listen, I'm just going to say it up front. You got a great voice, a tone of your voice, that Southern accent, all that sort of stuff. So that definitely does help. Tone on the telephone is a big deal. But what sort of tips could you give them as far as booking appointments on the phone off of internet leads?
Right. So I think number one is staying on your pitch. Don't, constantly be like, just stay consistent. Tell them what you're there for, get to the point real quick, confirm their address. That's like number one, and then tell them, I just need to come see who you are, verification, make sure you're not 600 pounds or anything like that. That kind of thing works for me. And just like I said, don't go off your pitch and just mumble your words. I think I stay very consistent, and I'm also very nice. I had people yesterday that I had a big sale on, sold a his and hers, and the lady on the phone. I have so many people who call me. People tell me this all the time. I have so many people who call me, but I let you come because you sounded so nice and you're professional and your pitch was good. You're a very good salesperson. So I think just staying on top of your voice, having a good attitude on the phone, because people can read you if you're getting frustrated, picking up the phone. So that's worked for me. And I think how I came about my pitch was I listened to different people use their pitch, and I put my own pitch together based on what I thought was going to work for me. And that worked so well for me. So I think if you are a new agent, look on the app that we have when you first start your courses. I don't know, it's been so long, I don't even remember what it's called, but it has videos on there of different people, on the phones, and then put your own pitch together. That's worked. Right. And if my pitch, which has worked for me, so I think could work for others, reach out to me and I'll give you that.
Yeah. And we're just on that note, we're putting together a new agent boot camp right now. Hopefully it should be out very, very soon, where we have videos of all kinds of different things that new agents, as they're getting going, know everything, one-stop shop. They can go to this one place and boom, everything's there. So real quick, just run through, and I'm not going to give you any objections or whatever, but run through, if you were calling me and if I send in an internet lead, just book an appointment with me real quick.
Okay. Hey, is this Brent?
It is.
Hey, Brent, this is Summer. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. The reason I'm giving you a call is because I actually received the form you had filled out for final expense. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the reason I'm calling, I'm an underwriter in your area. Like I said, I'm just coming out to check on you, make sure you're not 600 pounds, lay eyes on you. I have here your address is 123 Berlin Street.
Yep.
Date of birth 12/10/59.
Yep.
Awesome. So like I said, I'm just an underwriter in your area. So my job's just to come lay eyes on you. Like I said, I have here that you're going to be home tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Are you going to be available?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. I'll be in the area at that time. And let me just confirm your address one more time. 123 Berlin Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'll see you tomorrow. And do I have anything I need to be aware of? Dogs, gates, anything?
Nope.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. You have a blessed day.
All right. So you say something to them about, hey, I have here that you're going to be available tomorrow around 11. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Girl, I've been in this business for 12 years, and that's the first time. I love it. That's the first time I've ever heard that, because it's the assumptiveness, right? And it's like, they don't know who it was that told you that they were going to be available, and it doesn't matter, right? But it's the assumptiveness. Golly, that is great. So I'm assuming when you say that, sometimes people are like, well, no, I'm not going to be available tomorrow.
Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment.
And I have a doctor's appointment. I'm not going to be available at 11. What do you say?
I'm like, well, I have some openings here. Does the morning or afternoon work better for you? And they'll be like, no, I'm going to be available all day. You know how they are.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Doctor's appointment. A doctor's appointment is going to last them all day. That's the way they think about it. That is really good. Never thought about doing that. I mean, just rough guess. If you talk to 10 people, how many people give you pushback on that time? And or how many people, let's do it this way, how many people fall right in line and say, yeah, I'm available at that time, out of 10 people?
A lot. Probably a good 70%.
That is freaking awesome. Oh, Lord, I hope people are taking notes. All right. So now in the home, real quick, because I know we need to wrap up. In the home, anything that you, because, I mean, you're obviously writing, I mean, already you're on pace to write 30, 40, 50 applications in a month. And so you're helping a lot of families out. Any tips you could give the new agents as far as in the home that have really helped you?
Yeah, in the home, the biggest thing I tell anyone is making sure they know that you're there to help them. Immediately when I walk in the home, I make the people feel like I'm their family, and I'm just outgoing, straight to the point. I say whatever I think, some kind of good, kind of bad, but it works for me. Yeah, it works for me. I build relationships with them, but don't get too close. Get to the business, show them what you can do for them, lay out the prices, ask them if they can afford it. If they can't, I had a guy the other day, he told me he wanted a 30K eagle on a door knock. Immediately I was like, okay, like obviously big deal, like yay. Mm-hmm. But then when I started filling out the application, he started, questioning, and I was like, okay, well, because he told me he made like $3,200 a month and he didn't have kids or anything. So obviously I'm like, okay, you're doing pretty good. But once you start filling out the application, he started, giving me some things, and I was like, okay, so how much do you actually make a month? Mm-hmm. And, I don't know if I make $3,200 right now. Okay. So can you afford this every month? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, so let's figure out something you can afford every month, because I'd rather you be covered and, then you cancel on me and you have no coverage. So, we sat down, reevaluated, and then we ended up doing a $10,000 eagle, which is fine. I get the sale. I feel confident that he's going to keep it. Right. So, yeah, just letting them know that they're there to trust you. I think that's a big thing too. Not that you're just there to get the sale, but you're there to help them, like I said. So I think that's the biggest tip.
100%. But you also said, you said something very big too, and I hope people didn't miss it. When something comes to your mind, and this is just who you are, right? When something comes to your mind, you just say it. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, whatever, right? But that's just real. That's being real, and that's also being upfront and blunt with people. A lot of times, I remember sitting in homes when I was brand new, Summer, and I knew I should be saying something, or I knew I should be questioning them about something, like something they said, it didn't make sense or whatever, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I know I got to call them out in a nice way on this, but I wouldn't do it because it's that uncomfortableness, right? It's like you get to that point as a new agent, it's like, man, I don't want to ask this question or whatever, because it might be uncomfortable. And we got to get to the point. I had to get to the point of, I just had to start asking. I had to start asking for clarification on things. And see, you're an individual that you don't have a filter. anyway. So,
No.
right.
Mm.
It worked. It's good, but we got to get some people who do have a filter to understand that that's like, we got to dig deeper. We got to ask clarifying questions. We got to challenge these people in a good way, obviously, and in a nice way, because challenging them actually lets them know that we care,
Right.
instead of just taking whatever they say at face value and not digging down into that. Does that make sense?
Right. 100%.
You just have, you just no filter. It's like, boom, I'm going to say whatever comes to my mind. But you're
always
real.
been like that.
Yeah, but you're real. And they can sense that. They can smell that from a mile away. If you're not being real, if you're not being yourself, if you're trying to be, different people because you've watched different videos or whatever, you have to make it your own. You have to be yourself 100%. Right. So let me touch on this real quick before we wrap up. I know that you're starting to build a team, at least from what I've heard from Evan. I know he was on the phone with, is it your sister or your sister? Okay.
My
Do what?
My stepsister. Yeah.
Your stepsister. Okay. So we have anybody else that, because I'm sure that there's plenty of people, you're in college, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that that would love to be helping as many families as you're helping and seeing the income come in that you're seeing because you're working your tail off to do it. But where are we at as far as building a group? Like how can myself and Evan and Gabe, how can we help you on that front?
Right. Well, so I'm one of those people where I'm not going to recruit someone that I don't believe is going to, succeed in this business. And I feel like a lot of people my age are just about that party life right now, figuring their life out, don't really know what they want to do, which is fine. But I feel like this business, you don't have to have you just need to be willing to get up and work. Okay. So if I believe that you do have that in you, if you're willing to, talk to me about this company and put in the work, then I'll invest my time in you and I will want you on my team. But I'm very upfront. I don't really want you on my team if you're going to not work, Right. So, like I said, I definitely can start reaching out to a lot more people, maybe on my campus or something like that I think is willing to, put in the work, whatever. But, I've been so busy with this job and everything else where I've kind of just been doing my own thing right now.
Do you have you're 21 years old. I'm 44. So I fought the whole social media thing for a while. It wasn't me. I didn't get it. You have social media accounts and stuff. Most of you young people are all over those social media stuff. I've got a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old daughter. Sometimes I want to take their phone and dismantle it. But I would suggest that's a good place to start. The social media, just sharing how excited you are about what you're doing. Just obviously you don't share stuff about money or anything like that on social media, but people are watching, Summer, is what I'm saying. People are watching that you may not even know are watching, and they're seeing your life change. They're seeing how you live. They're seeing how you carry yourself. They're seeing how much you're smiling now. Things like people are watching. And so I would definitely just be doing that type of stuff. And they'll sit back for a couple weeks or 3 weeks. And then they'll be like, hey, tell me more about what you're doing. Right. And the other thing I would say too, just know this, when I first started in this business, I was one of those people that wasn't in the right frame of mind. And like you were talking about,
right.
I was just coming off a serious knee injury, ended my baseball career. That's all I had ever known. I was going through a period of depression because of having baseball taken away. And so when I first started, I was not of the right mindset. I was not a very positive person. I didn't have the right work ethic because of some of the things that I was dealing with. And so, but what happened is I constantly did get around
people
the people that were having success in this business, and it started to rub off. It started to where I started to learn, right? So all I'm saying with that is sometimes they might not be in the right place now, but as soon as they start hanging around you more, or as soon as they start listening to Evan more, or Gabe more, or me more, or whatever, all of a sudden something clicks and boom, they take it and run with it, right? So just be aware of that. You know, it's not everybody. You're 21 and you have got a bright future in this business ahead of you. And you're going to take a lot of people with you, and you're going to help a lot of people, you know, but not everybody is going to be exactly like you are right away. It might take them some time to get there. And that's not a bad thing. Does that make sense?
Right. 100%. Yeah. And like mentorship, different things like that. Yeah. I think I've always just surrounded myself with older people. Immediately went into internship super young. So obviously all the people at the companies that I worked for were older. Yeah. So that's kind of how I grew my mindset. And I know a lot of college kids, they don't even like, I don't want to do internships. Like, I just want to have a summer, you know, don't want to work.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense. 100% what you're saying.
But I look forward to it because, girl, it is some kind of fun when it's obviously great to be having success individually, but it is some kind of fun to see. Like, it is awesome for me that people like you is what gets my feet hitting the floor early in the morning and constantly getting after it, trying to help, because it's like, this is people like you. Because I know, and I know you don't even realize it yet, but I know if you continue to do things the way you're doing them now, I know what your life looks like, even just 2 years from now, you know, because I've seen it happen with Kiefer. I've seen it happen with Evan. I've seen it happen with, you know, a lot of different people. And it's exciting. It's exciting for me. That's what drives me now, you know, and I look forward to growing this thing with you. I'll do anything in the world I can to help you.
Thank you.
You know, you just let me know, and you know, let Evan know, stay in constant contact or whatever. And let's just keep pounding it out, keep helping families, keep being you, right? Keep having fun. And it's going to be a fun ride. Okay.
Yes. I'm excited.
All right, girl.
And this is like the best business to grow in. Like, anyone listening, I've worked for a lot of companies. There's no company that you can grow and get money in your bank account by putting in hard work like this one. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's legal. And it's legal. So, well, listen, girl, I appreciate it. You have shared. I told you I've been excited about this call and doing this, but you have shared some really good stuff on this call. And I hope it's not only inspiring to people to see people like yourself getting out there and working, but also you shared some really good nuts and bolts stuff that I think people can take and apply to work in the internet leads and their schedule and things like that. So I appreciate you. Okay.
Yes. And if you want my number, do you want me to put it in here?
Yeah, you can go ahead and share it.
Okay. It's 409-626-1535.
All right. Well, have a good rest of the day. Okay. Get out there, help some families, make some phone calls, book some appointments, those money-making activities, those income-producing activities. That's all that matters. So, Summer, I look forward to seeing you climb leaderboards and chasing people down. And I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to give Hall of Fame producer a serious run in your first year. So, all right.
All right.
All right, girl. Thank you.